Do you want to make some easy peasy art papers that you can use in your mixed media art projects? Well, in today's video, we're going to make some collage paper that has loose, loopy, swirly scallops out of very, very fluid paint. Hi, I'm Therese, and I'm from Therese Bradley Art, and I can help you make art you love so that you can uplift and inspire yourself and others, even if you don't think you're artistic or creative. For the 100-day project in 2024, I am painting easy peasy art papers, and then I'm going to use those art papers in my mixed media art projects. So I have a post on my blog, on my website, where I talk about and share why I even do the 100-day project. And I will put that into the description below so that you can go check that out and read it if you'd like. So for today's easy peasy art papers, you're going to need a long bristled brush. This is called a liner brush. It's very soft and it's long, and when you hold it towards the end of the handle, then you don't have a lot of control and you get this very loose, fluid, flowy paint line with it. So we're going to use that. Of course, I'm doing my upcycled papers. And what I'm using to paint today, these are, they're called Heidi Swap Color Shine. These are old from my scrapbooking days. I don't even know if these are made anymore. They're very, very fluid. So if you don't have something like that, what you could use ink. You could use high flow acrylic paints if you have any of those. If you have even just like your regular craft paint and just dilute it so it's like a very fluid, milky type consistency, that would work just fine for today's project. Okay, so grab your supplies and let's go paint. Okay, I have these Heidi Swap Color Shine spray, I don't know if they're ink or paint or what, but anyway, these are from my old scrapbooking days. So these are pretty old. So I have these three colors. So I thought what I could do is I have a liner brush. It's soft and the bristles are very long. And what I plan to do is hold it towards the end of the handle and then like do squiggles. The farther down the handle you hold it towards the end of the handle, the less precise control you'll have. So I'm hoping to get just kind of some messy, swirly lines. I've got a jar of water so I can clean my brush out between colors. I have a fabric rag to wipe my brush off on. And then for my papers, this is an index, might be from a butterfly book. This is that really thin, I still haven't gotten to that thin paper. No, I did get it at my last one. So anyway, I've got this thin paper. I've got a sugar bag. So there's a colored side. There's also this white side. I've got, this is from a book that was falling apart. Some graph paper, this is from a map, one of those big atlas map indexes. This is an old calendar, I don't know what year, some map papers. Anyway, so I don't know that I'll do all of them today, but I'll work through these and I'll start, I think, just one color at a time, but it would not surprise me if I start mixing colors in here. So I'm just gonna get my brush wet in the water, and I'm just gonna go for it. And I think I'll start with my papers in a horizontal. That way I can get a good line of squiggle marks. This says pink, but if I can get it, yeah, I can get it open. It looks very brown. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm just gonna, I have this old palette with dried up paint on it, and that's what I'm just gonna put these little nozzle guys on so my desk, we can pretend my desk is gonna stay clean, right? Okay, so I'm just dipping that paintbrush, that skinny long, and I'm going to hold it by the end and just kind of do squiggles. And it's very, very faint. This pink paint, you can barely see anything. So I may come over this. If I do a little more paint, that's better, huh? So we'll do that. So I'm not really like trying to control this at all. The whole idea with this project, this 100-day project, is things that are going to be easy peasy art papers that I can make with stuff that I have in my stash. You may not have the exact same thing. So like you may not have these, I don't even know what they are. Liquid paint, maybe. I don't know if it's acrylic or if it's ink, or I'm not sure. But you can always thin down, like even the inexpensive craft paint that's pretty thin. You could just, you know, thin that down a little bit more. And if you don't have a liner brush with these really long bristles, that's okay. You could use a regular paintbrush as well. The idea behind these loose marks is to hold your brush at the end, so that you're not, you know, you're not doing it like a pencil. You're just doing it loosely. And you can, you know, layer over itself. You know, if you want more concentrated, less of your page showing up, then just overlap these squiggles in a more concentrated fashion, and then you'll have less of the paper showing. So I'm just like trying to play and have fun and experiment and say, what do I have that instead of throwing it out, I could, you know, have some fun and try something new. So that's what this 100-day project is about for me. 100 days of easy peasy art papers. So that was easy. Okay, so the pink is very pale. So I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to wash my brush. And I think I'm going to put this lid back on, because knowing me, I will knock it and I'll have this all over everything. So I'm going to try this green now. And I'm not too worried if I still have a little bit of pink in my brush. It's okay. These are art papers, easy peasy art papers. Nothing perfect or precious about them. And I'm just going to do the same thing. This one looks like it has like some glimmer to it. And you can see I have my papers acting kind of as a under paper by just having that stack of papers, you know, the next paper ready to go underneath. Then the underneath paper is going to catch the extra paint, and that'll just be more decoration on there, right? And since these aren't anything, you know, they're not trying to be perfect, then it doesn't matter. It's all good. This is really pretty. Let me see if I can do this without knocking the paint over. I don't know. Can you see the glimmer? It's like there's a little bit of glitter in here, or maybe like pigment powder or something. Like, what is that? Pearlex, right? Maybe something like that in here. I'm not sure, but it's glimmery. I'm ashamed to say, well, I don't want to say ashamed. I'm not shaming myself, right? I didn't use these when I was scrapbooking very much. I think I would normally, the way I would use them is, I would like do splatters. I think that's what I would do. I don't know that I ever like sprayed them. in the days when I was scrapbooking. But now I have all these supplies, and they're fun, aren't they? And that's probably why I got them, because they were fun. I don't even know how old these are. I started scrapbooking like around 2008. You know, I've done art always, and I taught high school all throughout the 90s and the early 2000s. And I did card making and rubber stamping, and but I was a little late to the game with scrapbooking. So there's that one. This is very wet, this one. I think it's the paper is resisting this typing paper. This is that old vintage. It has like the print, the embossed watermark on the paper. So this is probably, it might even be older than I am. And whatever they made it out of, the paint is not soaking in. It's kind of sitting on top. So it'll be interesting to see how this dries. It'll be interesting to see if the paint even sticks on here. That'll be a question. Okay, now I've got this sugar bag. I'm wondering if this yellow, if I can get there I go. If this is even gonna show up. Oh yeah, that's kind of fun too. Okay. New paper here. Just use the end of the spray bottle, the tubey thingy, whatever that's called. Not even using a brush. How's that? Less to clean. That's kind of fun. Getting wild here. Okay, so I'm not going to make you watch me play with all of this, but I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more alternating this very dusty peach with this limey green and this yellow, and maybe I'll take, maybe in some of them I'll combine. My brush is still green, so maybe I'll just go ahead and combine right here on this one. Here I said I was going to stop the video so you didn't have to watch this, but oh well. We'll have you watch this. And because these paints are not like precious to me, obviously, since who knows how old they are, it's okay for me if some of the yellow got into this green, especially because they are the same, they're from the same maker. And green is made with yellow paint, and so if some yellow got into that bottle of green, that's totally fine with me. It'd be fun if I had like some turquoise. That would be fun. Spattering all over. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do, I'll do some more papers, and then I will come back and show you what I've done. Okay, I'm doing a slightly different mark pattern. It's more like a scallop, whereas before I was doing these little loopies. So I just wanted to show you that one. And again, I'm holding my brush towards the end, so I don't have a lot of control. I'm thinking I would, these particular Color Shine paints, I think I would like them on maybe a solid other than white. I think like when I did the sugar bag, I think on that pink. I actually like the way that the paint stands out on a color rather than on the white. But I think, you know, these are all just going to be layers of collage and such like that. So I'm not looking for finished artwork. I'm just looking for interesting patterns that breaks up what was already on all this ephemera. We'll call it ephemera, the vintage papers and the junk mail and things like that. Just a fun way to use up what I have and to play and explore, you know, and try some new things. All right, I wanted to show you how these papers turned out, and I'm finding that the paints are very light in value. And that's not a bad thing, because some of the other designs that I'll make throughout this project will have darker colors. And so I'm going to want some papers that are that feel more neutral or less contrast, paler, lighter in value. So I'm okay that these are not like POW vibrant. I'm okay with that. This one I kind of just squiggled, just sort of squiggled all over. No rhyme or reason to how I was moving the paint on the paper. This one's more loops. These fish scales were fun. This one is hard to tell, but there's green and then yellow and then green and then yellow. This was that funny, I think it's vintage typing paper. And this took hours to dry. So the paint didn't soak into the paper. The paper really kind of resisted it. And there's a couple spots, even though this is now the next morning, so they've dried at least 12 hours. There's a couple spots on here that are still, they're still a little tacky and wet. So, onion skin, is that what they called this typing paper? I should know because I typed on it when I was in 7th and 8th grade. This is an old calendar page, planner page, and this is that pink. And to me, it's really looking more beigey brown. I think I'm getting, the color is getting influenced, I think, by these darker gray squares. And so it's making this feel very brown to me. Whereas on this paper, it feels much more of that dusty pink color. And then this is the sugar bag, and I was hoping that the paint itself would have more of a dominant look, but those bright, vivid colors from the sugar bag are really popping out. So this could be, maybe if I had done this with like black ink, or maybe like a strong turquoise. I think the iridescent quality and the sheer quality of these Heidi Swapp Color Shine, it's a little more translucent. So I think because this bag is so vivid in color already, I might have gotten a look that I liked better if I had used paint or an ink that was not translucent, that I'd used something more opaque. I think I would have been happier with it. And I will still be able to use this because they're like, when I collage with these papers, which is what I'm intending right now, I'll be taking like little snippets. So if I'm just going to take like a little snippet here, for example, that has some nice contrast between the green and these various pinks. You know, maybe I would just take a little snippet here where I've got this abstract. It's going to look like this abstract pattern of this white blocky with the dark blue with this green sweeping through. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, as you're making these papers, if you're not completely thrilled with a design, it's totally okay, because you may find later on as you use it and you're mixing it with other either papers you've made or you know, maybe like you've got old solid color scrapbook paper or whatever. As you mix it with other supplies, it will have a life of its own. It will shine. You'll use just little pieces, not necessarily a whole big thing. Whereas like with this, my eye is fighting, trying to decide where it's supposed to focus. So my eye on this particular piece is fighting where to focus, because I have a high contrast on the bag itself. This is a high contrast area with the white and the dark lettering. And then this is also high contrast with this dark circle with this white design. And here's more high contrast. And the white to the various pinks of this bag, that's also high contrast. So whenever you have areas that are high contrast, a very light with a dark, your eye is going to want to go there as a focal point. So my eye is bouncing between these four places, not knowing where it's supposed to go. And so that feels very chaotic to me. But as I use this paper, I'm not going to have all these high contrast areas all together. I'll just be using a little snippet. You know, if I'm just going to use that much of this paper, that gives me a very different story and feeling than seeing this whole piece as a whole piece. Does that make sense? So I guess I'm just trying to say, don't be discouraged if you're not in love with what you've made. You may fall in love with it later. Okay, I will be back for the next paper. So here are some of the papers that we painted today with the very fluid paint and the floppy liner brush. I love this one. These paints, these Heidi Swapp Color Shine, they have a slight iridescent quality to them. They're really pretty when you move them around. And then I experimented with using an old map. There's not very much contrast though. So just a heads up on that one. And then this was, of course, a sugar bag that I painted on top of as well. And some of the different parts, like this would be a pretty little chunk, you know, to just isolate and rip out that tiny little piece, or rip out some of the parts that were like on the white or the blue, but like isolating them for tiny little pieces. I don't know that I would use like this whole bag, for instance. I would find a little piece to use. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And remember, hold your paintbrush way back at the end and not in a tight grip. And that's the secret, is getting these loose, floppy, flowy lines, is not trying to have a death grip on your paintbrush and really control that line. Just sort of, you know, loose wrist, just sort of let it have a life of its own. And you'll end up with these really pretty scallops and loops and circles and things. So anyway, so if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and like it, because that will tell the Instagram magic people that we're going to send this video out and get more people coming in and doing painty play with us. You can share it with a friend, share this video with a friend that you think might enjoy this whole series and this kind of loose style of painting, easy peasy collage paper painting. And then remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos that are coming out in this series. It is the 100-day project, so I'm going to do my best to get 100 different videos. I think I will go past the official end date because I'm starting late, but that's okay. We can just go with the flow and paint, you know, and have fun, and we don't have to, you know, bash ourselves or be mean to ourselves because we're not fitting somebody else's expectations. It's all for play, all for fun. So if you have any ideas, like you say, Therese, this would be a really great easy peasy paper. I want you to try this one. Then go ahead and stick it in the comments below and I'll give it a shot and we'll see about making a video of it. And then I would love to know what your favorite part of this video was today. So if you could put that in the comments for me, that would be just wonderful. So thank you for watching today. You've uplifted my heart. Bye-bye.